The starts of your fantasy football draft are always fun because it's the big names. But the guys at the end of the draft are the ones that could sometimes win you fantasy championships. In today's episode, we're talking about 5 guys that no one wants, but you should. What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there today. We're talking about 5 players that really nobody wants. How can I sit here and say that nobody wants them? Well, all of their ADP is like the earliest guy's 146th overall. We're talking about late guys in your fantasy football drafts that can still return value that you should take a stab on late. I'm talking super late in your fantasy football drafts. And before we get into this, I got to remind you guys, this is a smooth sack summer, right? We're all enjoying the summer. I'm getting ready to go to the beach myself. You got to make sure you head over to manscaped.com, use referral code Headliners at checkout, get 20% off your order and free shipping. It's not just ball trimmers. They got nose hair trimmers, ear hair trimmers, deodorant, body wash, whatever it is that you need, they have you covered. So make sure you use that referral code when you check out and get yourself a nice discount. Also, a light goal on this video, because these guys are late. I'm talking like super late. We're going to set the light goal at 1901. 1901, and I'll pick a random commenter down below in the comment section to give a free 2022 fantasy football draft guide. Since drafts are right around the corner, you're definitely going to need one of those, so make sure you leave that comment, hit that like button. Here we go. The first player we're talking about may be somebody you've never even heard of. How about wide receiver for the Chargers, Josh Palmer? And like I said, very, very few people really know how good this kid is. Really, there's only one thing that's going against him. It's his spot on the depth chart behind Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. He kind of reminds me of Chris Godwin, like 2018 Chris Godwin. If you've been watching this show that long, you may remember that year, I made a pretty bold statement that I said if Chris Godwin got an opportunity in this offense, he would outscore Mike Evans. And boy, did people think I was nuts. In 2019, Chris Godwin outscored Mike Evans. That is Josh Palmer right now. All he needs is an opportunity. All he needs are targets. He is already dominating in camp and making defenders look absolutely silly. He has been studying and being mentored by Keenan Allen here this offseason, who is one of the best route runners in the game. And now Josh Palmer starting to apply a little bit of that to his, and it is absolutely noticeable. His teammates are already coming out and saying, listen, this guy could be a number 1 wide receiver on other NFL teams right now. We even saw him start to get involved a little bit last year towards the end of the season when he had 3 touchdowns the last 5 games of 2021. He plays in one of the highest powered offenses in the NFL. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams hardly ever play an entire season. We are 1 injury away from Josh Palmer absolutely exploding, and he's free on draft day. Right now, wide receiver 75, going 225th overall. Do you have a kicker in your league? If you do, don't draft a kicker. Draft Josh Palmer. See what happens the remainder of the offseason. Maybe you have somebody else that you can drop for a kicker come week 1. Give yourself a couple extra weeks of maybe an added opportunity, because what happens if there's a training camp injury to Keenan Allen or Mike Williams and you drafted Josh Palmer late? You are going to be sitting pretty, and one happy team owner. Love myself some Josh Palmer. How about another guy? People always want to forget about Jacoby Myers of the New England Patriots. He's another guy going as wide receiver 66, 181st overall. Now, I probably just said the name Jacoby Myers and you were like, oh yeah, that guy's pretty solid, right? Yet he's still going at the very end of drafts all over again. And I don't really understand why. Last year, he finished as wide receiver 33 in half-point PPR. That's 33 spots higher than he's currently being drafted right now. He led the Patriots in targets with 126. The next closest member on the team was Hunter Henry at 75. Did he blow up the box scores? No. But he was a safe floor and a reliable option. He had at least 8 targets in 9 games last year, a year that was Mac Jones's rookie year when he only got a small taste of the playbook. I'm expecting a little bit more of a passing offense in New England this year, and that is going to benefit Jacoby Myers. Tyquan Thornton, the rookie, he's dealing with an injury. He's going to miss some time. Newly signed Devontae Parker, having a little bit of a case of the drops in training camp a little bit. Who is the damn binky of one Mac Jones? It is Jacoby Myers, and he's going to get fed again. He could easily see at least 120 targets this year, and you're getting him in the 16th round. Don't forget about the number 1 option for Mac Jones in New England when you're on the clock at the very last round of your fantasy football draft. Because don't forget, Jacoby Myers may not be a sexy fantasy football pick, but at that point of the draft, with that floor, you're not going to find much better. How about a running back? Hang on with me here. It's Jamaal Williams of the Detroit Lions. And he's sitting at running back 56, 159th overall. But I know it sounds gross. Like I have that taste in the back of my throat as well when it comes to Jamaal Williams. Just doesn't sound great. I get it. But this guy has a role on this offense, whether you or I like it or not. He is 100% a Dan Campbell type of player. He's an emotional leader of this team. And as much as we all want DeAndre Swift to be like everything in this offense, it's not happening. Jamaal Williams last year finished as running back 43. He had at least 12 total touches in 10 of the 13 games he played in 2021. The Lions now have an above average offensive line as a whole. They're not going to overwork DeAndre Swift. We already know that. The Lions will need to run the ball successfully if they want to win games this year to keep the ball away from their opponents. Big time volume if Swift goes down as well. What happens if we lose DeAndre Swift, which we have been known to do from time to time, and we see more Jamaal Williams behind this better offensive line? He's just somebody that's super late in drafts. Maybe you're looking for a bench stash, some added depth at the running back position. It's really hard to find this type of proven touch upside at this point of the draft. We know week 1, this guy's going to go out and touch the ball around 12 times. I don't know if we can say that about many other guys that are sitting around 159th overall. So Jamaal Williams, definitely somebody just to not brush off. How about J.D. McKissic? He's currently going as running back 52, 146th overall. And right now, he's just an afterthought for most people, maybe outside of the Washington Commandos. Now, McKissic over the last 2 years has averaged right around 9.5 fantasy points per game. I know that's not groundbreaking, but he's 146th overall. He's been a top 36 running back each of the last 2 years and still has value. They brought him back in free agency. He has the pass-catching role in this backfield. Antonio Gibson can't stay out of the doghouse. Brian Robinson's going to take early down work and goal line work. Now, among all running backs in the NFL last season, J.D. McKissic finished top 12 in receiving yards, yards per reception, catch rate, and team target share. He is their pass-catching running back out of the backfield. He's a PPR guy. He may not be some big, huge league winner, but he does have a role. He is cheap, and he is somebody that you could put in if needed as a bye-week fill-in or a flex play in good matchups. Don't forget about J.D. McKissic. And then lastly, a tight end, the football kind, of course, Irv Smith Jr. of the Minnesota Vikings. Currently tight end 15 and 162nd overall. People loved, myself included, Irv Smith earlier in the offseason. Then he got hurt. He had thumb surgery, fell way down in ADP, and people just aren't coming back around to Irv Smith, and I really don't understand why, especially at the price you can get him. Head coach Kevin O'Connell has already come out and said, hey, he expects Irv Smith to be on the field in week 1. A vertical threat tight end in now a more vertical offense just sounds pretty tempting to me. He's 6'2", 242, runs a 4.6 40, and is crazy athletic. They lost Tyler Conklin from this offense last year to free agency. It is now the Irv Smith show in Minnesota. That's 87 targets that are up for grab for Irv Smith, and I absolutely love that at this point in the draft with the tight end position. Injuries have derailed the start of his career, and I think a lot of people have kind of just forgot about him, but he has top 10 potential. And if you miss out on any of those top guys, more than likely you're grabbing 2 guys late and hoping that one of them pans out. Why not have one of those guys be Irv Smith? Because the potential upside is huge. But I know not all the names are sexy here. We want to talk about the big names, and we always do. But it's guys like this, guys that you draft in the last round, second to last round, that if they can produce, they make your overall fantasy team that much better. So you can't ignore the final rounds of your fantasy draft. But let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Are you interested in any of these guys? Don't forget, you got a like goal to hit. So hit that like button and leave that comment down below. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the day. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, a great week, and we'll talk to you later.